Hey, what's up, y'all? It's your boy Jeremy from Randolph Running Club, and I'm back again today with another video. Uh, this time we're talking about the Saucony Endorphin Speed 3 after 50 miles, right after this. All right, thank you so much for sitting there through that intro. That's just a quick run that I did in these shoes. Can't even remember. I want to say it was about maybe 13 miles with some marathon pace miles thrown in there, just kind of a nice speed workout as I get into this marathon build for the Oakland Running Festival coming up March 19th. Can't wait for that. I feel like that's going to be a really fun marathon for me just because it's on kind of home turf, places that I run all the time. So no excuses not to get a PR on this one, right? But yeah. I'm doing something a little bit different here with the channel now. Kind of my main thing is trying to kind of cut back on the amount of shoe reviews that I'm doing and maybe focus more on in-depth reviews on shoes that I'm doing for a longer period of time. In particular, we're talking about this Saucony Endorphin Speed 3. This is going to be kind of my primary speed / race shoe for any races that I'm doing now and in between the Oakland Marathon in particular, and I'll probably still run these afterwards. We'll get into that later in the review, but I'm also pairing them with kind of like a daily trainer max cushion shoe. So I'm doing just a 2-shoe rotation. Normally I have like 5 shoes that I'm going in and out of at any given time, but right now I'm trying to be really disciplined and just running these 2 shoes so I can get you guys, a 50 mile, maybe check back in at 125 and something at like 200 miles plus. So you can kind of see how the shoe evolves over the course of its life cycle. So yeah, and maybe I'll do something even past that 200 mile mark, who knows, depending on what you guys think and kind of the feedback. But let's get straight into it, talking about the Saucony Endorphin Speed 3. Just quickly go over the specs of this shoe. It's got an 8mm heel drop. The forefoot stack height is 28 millimeters and the heel stack height is 36 millimeters. So what that means is, the forefoot is 8 millimeters closer to the ground than your heel will be. This shoe is 8.1 ounces in a US men's size 9, so pretty light, nice speedy shoe for sure. And, let's get into part 1 where we'll talk about the step-in feel of these shoes. So first and foremost, I tried these shoes on. I went to Sports Basement here in California up in Berkeley. They always take care of you. Not sponsored by them, but I just really enjoy shopping there. So I just figured I'd give them a quick shout. But, I tried these on. I think I tried on the Hoka Carbon X3s, and I'm blanking on it, but I tried on like 3 or 4 different shoes. And these, as soon as I put them on my feet, the initial step in, I was like, man, this shoe feels so soft. I don't know, I just feel like there's something nice and substantial between me and the earth, you know what I mean? So the initial step in was very strong, definitely a really good feeling. We've got Saucony Power Run PD for the entire length of the midsole with an XT900 rubber outsole. So it has that nice kind of memory foam, step-in, squishy feeling that you'd like to have in one of these premier foams like this. The upper is a nice engineered mesh. It really contorts the foot extremely nicely and has a gusseted tongue, which is always a plus. So it gives you that nice sock-like fit. Fits very, very nicely on the foot. And I just have to say, it feels nice just all around. No rubbing or no weird things like that with this shoe. And, it runs true to size. In my US men's size 14, I had no problems there at all. Definitely giving extra points as well for the nice, soft, and spongy laces. I don't know what it is, but these laces just feel so good. They don't dig into my feet, so I can really crank down really, really hard for those speed sessions. And that was something that really kind of stood out to me, comparing these to some other shoes that I also tried on in the store. The shoe doesn't necessarily feel particularly narrow, but I will caution you, I don't have a particularly wide foot. I think my foot runs kind of in the middle there. aside from the fact that I wear 14, so it's kind of long. But with that being said, if you have a wide foot, I would definitely recommend that you try these on first. Go to the store if you can, or go to a place that has a really good return policy, because you just don't know, right? And they do have a wide version, but the issue with that is you're limited to one colorway. On Saucony's website, I could only see the kind of boring black and white colorway. So that's just something to keep in mind if you know that you have a wider foot. Now, let's talk about point number 2. This is the on the run feel of these shoes. Boy, let me talk about this. So these have just a really nice winged nylon plate. You obviously have, the Power Run PB, which is Saucony's premier midsole. So it's very energetic. And it just gives the shoe such a nice ride, such a good feeling underfoot. I've used these primarily for threshold work, speed days, right? Any long runs that I've done that have any sustained, marathon pace effort where it's not just like an aerobic endurance run, I am throwing these on and I love it. I mean, they just seem to keep getting better and better. I'm at 50 miles so far and they feel so, so good. I definitely have to say that, they seem to kind of prefer the slower end of my threshold and up to marathon pace. If I was running my all out fastest mile, which isn't that fast, right? I'm probably in like, I don't know, 555, 550 mile shape because I just don't train for that really. But with that being said, I just think these shoes provide a little bit too much squish, if you will, where you feel like you're kind of sinking into the shoe when you're really, really going for it, right? And picking your cadence up and the running power. But with that being said, my threshold pace is probably somewhere around like 650 a mile. And then my goal marathon pace right now, depending on how training goes, this might alter, is about 8 minutes per mile. And this shoe feels so smooth and so nice through that range. You get a nice energetic pop off toe off. Nothing too crazy. It doesn't feel like a carbon plated shoe. Like I got a pair of Alpha Flies upstairs. And I want to say that those don't necessarily feel, this shoe doesn't feel as propulsive as that, right? Or even as propulsive as like maybe my Nike Streak Flies, for instance, which I think is like a really good competitor to this shoe in the same kind of price bracket. But with that being said, I think these shoes, if you're going for kind of that marathon pace in that orbit, kind of, in that vicinity, these shoes will do you really well. And they do great at nice, easy paces. So if you wanted to, and you just wanted to buy one shoe, you could probably get away with this being your daily trainer, because I feel like these shoes provide so much impact protection. I've taken them up to 14 miles now, almost 15, no issues at all. Foam just feels really great underfoot. I just think the only issue is, for me, if I'm going for that ultimate pace in like a 5K or something, I probably can't get away with these just because they're a little bit too squishy, a little bit too soft. But definitely anything 10K up, I'm picking these 10 out of 10 times. I haven't run in any of the previous versions of this shoe, so I can't really compare, but apparently Saucony made the base of the shoe a little bit wider than in previous versions. I don't know. Some people seem a little bit torn. I actually really like that, because I think, especially compared to something like my Streak Flies, these shoes kind of help a little bit with any over pronation, any over or under, in that not like a stability shoe would, but more than one of those like other carbon plated or plated racers that are so squishy, so soft, it feels like you're kind of wallowing, at lower paces sometimes. So I think definitely I really enjoy that these shoes have the wider base. And lastly, it's been raining a ton in Oakland where I live right now, and these shoes have not caused me any issue in the wet at all. That XT900 rubber is really holding up, and it's just done honestly really, really well, more so than I thought. And these shoes also seem to dry off really well. I just came back this morning from a speed workout, and it's pouring torrential rain outside, and the upper dries very quickly. Didn't cause me any weird hot spots or anything like that. So point number 3, I want to talk about durability. So I'll hold the shoe up so you can kind of see it here. We're at 53 miles so far in the shoe, and it so far is doing really well. I haven't seen anything, crazy going on with the upper. It's just, kind of hanging on there, looking good. The outsole rubber has shown zero signs of wear at all. It looks amazing, just as good as day one, to be honest. So I have no complaints here. Obviously I'll keep updating you guys as I continue to run in this shoe. But at 53 miles, shoe feels great. I'll check back in with you at 125 and so forth and so on to see how I'm getting on with it. Last but not least, point number 4, I want to talk about the value of these shoes. They're $170. I had a small discount with Sports Basement just because they have like a membership program. So 10% off, save you $17, which isn't an exorbitant amount of money, but whatever. I think if you're looking at the fact that this shoe could kind of replace other shoes in your rotation, right? Like I think having this shoe has helped me not have a 3-shoe rotation. So if you look at it in that way, that kind of helps, right? If this is your daily trainer and you're racing in it or something, or it's your speed shoe and you can race in it and it lasts a pretty long time, I think that would be pretty good. I definitely am looking at it from the perspective that this is a pretty peppy shoe while also being comfortable. I think I can race multiple races in this, and I think it'll last me at least 300 miles of really fast, intense workouts before I'm like ready to retire. At least that's my projection. So, I think 170 is not a bad price. The only caveat I will say to that is the Streak Fly, which I mentioned earlier, cost $160 at full price. And I know you can get those on sale now because they've been out for about a year. So if you're a lighter runner, you could take the Streak Fly up to a marathon. I personally think I'm a little too heavy. I'm 6'4", like 215 pounds. So I start to bottom that shoe out on longer runs. So I don't think that the Streak Fly, unless you're a lighter runner, it's not quite as versatile as this, but the Streak Fly feels better running 5Ks. So it depends what you're going for and what kind of runs you're looking to do. But I would say that's a really close competitor. And on the value scale, that shoe is a little bit cheaper, and I know it's on sale now. So that's just something to think about. But all in all, I think the value prop is pretty strong on these Saucony Endorphin Speed 3s. So, I guess finally to close out this video, would I buy these again? 10 out of 10 would recommend. I would buy these again. I've really enjoyed running in these shoes, and it's just been a very pleasurable experience. I'm looking forward to many more miles in them. And, I'll continue to drop updates and just let you guys know how I'm getting along in these. With that being said, as always, if you like this, please feel free to stick around, drop some comments. I'd love to chat with you down there. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, whatever you want to do. And of course, stay blessed, inspire others, and stay safe out there, y'all. I'll see you in the next one. Take it easy. Peace.